So this is the Buffalo City Yacht Club, and right here you're seeing a unique bar setup right here for the club members and others. And right along with that is my exhibit here, which is unique to the yacht club and being the first one of its kind to come along, the first art exhibition really. And these are my ships, and this is the Turquois Isle for one of the pair of new sister ships, which includes the Amethyst Isle. There's a replica of my hat that I usually wear in its own little head jar. And then we have display board there, information, and here's the Bavarian of Ward Line Classic Cruises. So this one makes in its own narrative makes its own occasional cruises, but otherwise is a kind of events center for charter. And here we have the equally historic Romania, which was built also 20 years ago, actually. We also have my smaller ships, scale-wise, and they were built, for the most part, over 20 years ago. That's the Republic III. This is the Oceanic IV, little Federation starship for the fun of it. The Corinthia, which used a couple other things before that. This is the Coptic, and Bermuda and Jamaica of the Furness-Bermuda lines. These other ones are from the White Star Line. These are all conjectural ships. None of these ships actually existed. That's the Delphic. And this is the Laurentic III. And down here is the Higner III for home lines, and this is the Argentina for more McCormick, if you will, and that one is the Medic. Down here we have the Laylandic and the Bahama down there. And again, these were all built over 20 years ago, at least. This one here was the only ship built at my school that I went to. And this used to be a ship also brought to that school. So a number of these ships actually saw the public a long time ago, but hadn't really been seen much since then, and they were all restored for the most part, both for this show and earlier for the Castellani exhibition. And here we have the Mauretania II in the collection, one of the 6-member Australia class cruise liners, river cruise liners, each of them named after various echoes from each of the continents of the world. And then here we have the Oxfordshire IV, Oxfordshire, and she was built back in 2018 in time to participate in the Castellani Art Museum exhibition there. And yes, there were 3 other ships with that name in this fleet. And again, this is a fictional ship, a bulk carrier. And right above that you see the different commodores that have occupied this wonderful institution over the years. Got a couple of ladies in here too. Lots of great people. And then we move on to the conference room that I took over also for the Shipwreck that exists here. This is actually not entirely my creation. Mother Nature did this. I just froze it in place and then created an alternative narrative around it. It's a wrecked oil tanker, basically. And she is probably in the Bering Strait area, you know, being ravaged by the ice and exposure and so forth. A lot of effort went into this one, anyways. And that's where we, come to the Edmund Fitzgerald. And the Edmund Fitzgerald piece was made actually for a special event that we have every year at the Lewiston Council of the Arts for our annual Fitzgerald commemoration, a music event and presentation. And she comes in 4 pieces, just like the Oxfordshire. And this has been separated a bit. You can kind of tell where it breaks off. And of course, it just slides together to create the final product. And it lights up to, all these ships light up for the most part here. They're not plugged in because they're about to leave, but you can kind of figure out what they look like. That there is the tug Medea, and Medea is actually a toy tug that dates back to the 1970s, and you can actually press it and it will go. And the kids like that, of course. It's a part of a fleet of tugboats and so forth for the collection too. There are different fleets, there are different names, there are different histories associated with these ships. And I've been doing this sort of work since 1994. So to be at the Yacht Club here is a great, great honor. And got a lot of great attention, and I think we've all had a nice fun time here too. The reception was lovely, food was great, the company was excellent, the views are, of course, very, very lovely. And these are some signboards from my experiences. These were taken as part of the folk art cataloging of my work by the Castellani Art Museum. And that year alone I displayed in several different places all over the place, all over Western New York. I had more than half of my entire collection, as it is today, on display at the Castellani and at the Niagara Arts and Cultural Center. And both institutions were very, very good, and we all had a great time. A lot of hard work, too. So, this is what a typical display, I suppose, looks like from me. And, again, out of the 320 ships approximately ever made, or heavily modified by me to be members of the collection in various ways, only about 120 of them are still around today, but that's okay. It's plenty. And so, thank you for watching. If you attended the show, thank you very much for coming. And you never know where these will be next, sometimes, but there will be a show coming up at Silo City in the Duende Gallery throughout the month of December 2021. You can inquire more about that. And this is Buffalo, New York again. And here we are in the end of October of 2021.